Hello, Juan Johnson here, candidate for mayor of Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a strong mayor-council form of government, giving the mayor the position of chief executive of the city. The mayor is given the authority to appoint general managers and commissioners and remove officials from city posts and is required to propose a budget every year. Well, my experience knowing that the corruption that has occurred in this city the last couple of years is that some of these commissioners need to be replaced. Some of these department heads need to be replaced. In particular, the housing department would be one department I would start with. The housing department, the planning department, some of those people need to be replaced because either they're corrupt or either racist or either they're in bed with the developers and people who are building these market rate and luxury housing developments across the city. So I would definitely make changes there. I would be the person to appoint people to the Metro Board, which is concerned with transportation. There would definitely be some changes to the Metro Board. As mayor, I will support a criminal investigation of the housing department to determine how many code enforcement inspectors fail to discharge their duties on the grounds of racial discrimination against black tenants who make housing services complaints. I will support criminal penalties against those code enforcement employees and also against landlords who refuse to comply with the provision of the state UNRRA Act, which requires full and equal housing services for all tenants. Full and equal housing services, privileges, and accommodations. What is pervasive in this city is the lack of fiscal accountability under the Mike Fuhrer reign. He has been characteristically silent about discrimination complaints leveled at housing and code enforcement employees. He has been characteristically silent about tenant harassment complaints against landlords that have been filed with his office. Sorry about that. So we have a picture here of unresponsive government, and I've talked to a number of residents across the city who have had communications with the city. Either they've had email communications, phone communications, and they say the government officials don't get back to them. So I want to assure that under my administration that there will be responsiveness from government employees, and that if a tenant or any resident makes any type of complaint to the city or makes some type of inquiry, that department will be responsible to get back to that tenant, and there will be accountability of those departments if that's not occurring. I've been employed as under a federal government contractor. I work for the state and the county and the city government in other capacities, and I feel that my experience would be valuable to me to be one of the best mayors the city has ever seen. There's other issues here I know everybody wants to hear about. I'm going to leave my campaign information and phone number down the bottom of this video, but I just want to touch on some of these things briefly. If people don't have affordable housing, they won't be able to live here and benefit from the good things in Los Angeles. They won't be able to benefit from the infrastructure. They won't be able to benefit from economic development, public safety, housing, because they won't be able to afford to live here. And for those people that are moderate income and affordable income, we have to have housing for them. Right now, we need to have a moratorium, and I work towards a moratorium on all market rate luxury housing. There has to stop because we have too much of it, and it's taking up the space that we need for affordable and moderate income housing. We need mandatory 80% affordable and moderate rate housing immediately in this city. We need that commitment that it's going to be mandatory. We need to know how many numbers do we need. How many units do we need? How many apartments do we need? And how many tenants or residents need that type of housing? And we need to know for every district of the city, so we can put in a plan that says this is the amount of housing we're trying to achieve, that we need to achieve, And then on the other hand, we need to put down what is the amount of money that's available or needed. Okay, what kind of money do we need to achieve this? And what kind of money do we have already to achieve this? This city has plenty of money. Okay, plenty of money. The problem is there's a disconnect between the leadership and the money. Too much money is going to the administrative costs of these developers and of city agencies. Okay, safety, we need more police, period. We need more police. I support more police. But we also need better training of police officers. We need sensitivity training. We need police officers to know what is the UNRWA Act, UNRUH, it's a state law. They need to know that. We as a people who are in the city and the residents, we need to know what the UNRWA Act says. We also need to know what are the duties of police officers as defined under the LA Municipal Code. We need to also know what are the duties of police officers as defined under state law, under the state law regarding peace officers. Before we start giving out duties and determining that the scouts are going to investigate crime in these areas, we need to know what are the duties of the police officers as they are now. We need more help to small businesses. We need more money to the infrastructure in the city. But, you know, people say, what are your specific ideas? We have enough ideas in the city. We have too many ideas, okay? Many of the ideas are workable and feasible, but we don't have leadership that's going to vote them into action. It's easy to say that you did this yesterday and you're going to do this tomorrow, you know, but the problem is that you have to have a mayor who is strong enough to talk to the public, not only about promoting the government, but also promoting the people who live in the city of Los Angeles, so that you know, we know that this is what the people feel, not just what the government says that should be happening. We need to bring people together. I want to bring people together. And these council districts, and I mentioned this just to say that there's a lot of dissension right now between council members and the mayor. They don't always agree on a lot of things that should move forward. They certainly don't agree on what should have been done to avoid corruption in government officials. The last election, I complained about corruption from city officials that participated in denying certified, qualified candidates the right to speak at candidate forums that were organized and funded by city government officials. Okay, you can't have city officials involved in corruption on that level, and you can't have city officials involved in ethics, violations of the ethics code. So as mayor, I will be somebody who will be at the forefront of making sure that these kind of issues of corruption, the home sharing ordinance, the tenant anti-harassment ordinance, they're not being enforced. If I'm elected mayor, those ordinances will be enforced, okay? Housing, homelessness, we have plenty of ideas, plenty of plans that are workable. It's just that we don't have the leadership that we need in the city. The leadership has to be replaced. If we have a housing department, that director has to be replaced. If we have a homeless agency or 2 or 3 homeless agencies, those directors need to be replaced. My name is Juan Johnson. I'm running for mayor of Los Angeles, and I really do appreciate your help and appreciate you listening today to what I had to say. And hopefully I'll be hearing more from you in the coming days of the campaign. Thank you very much.